Okay, this is just going to take a couple minutes to show you the Garden City. This idea of Ebenezer Howard. He was an urban planner. He was one of the dreamers that kind of had this vision for like a better way that human settlement could be developed. And he wrote a book called Garden Cities of Tomorrow. So this concept, the Garden City, still very influential. So some characteristics of the Garden City were that he wanted to take the social and economic advantages of city life of the city and combine this with like this healthful, tranquil environment of nature and the countryside. It's his utopia, so it's like almost kind of supposed to be this perfect synthesis of both cities, city life, and nature. And one thing to note is he had a recommended total population of 30,000. That's kind of a characteristic of of these plans is it's for a specific population. It's almost like an ideal amount of people that the physical plan should serve. That's something to think about when you guys do your final projects for this class. And it was supposed to be a system of cities. His garden city wasn't meant to exist in isolation, but more be a system, really. And when I show you some pictures here in a minute, you'll kind of see more of what that looks like. He believed in common ownership of land with profits from land development diverted into a municipal fund. I mean, this is actually pretty socialist thinking, but this Howard's Ebenezer Howard, his stuff was going on in the UK, not as much in America. When he started, these were for plans over in the UK. And so, but this is this idea, and that plays into what we talked about, this idea of land, like public control over private land, or what can you do with public land versus private land. So this was kind of his way of addressing that issue, is this idea of common ownership of land, doing this for the common good. So this wasn't really just an idea. He actually built these towns got built. It wasn't just a dream that sat on a shelf. So Letchworth, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, 35 miles outside of London, he built his garden city. And then there was also another one called Welwyn. So these were some of Howard's garden cities. So this is a picture of one of his diagrams, and we're going to look at a few of these so that you can see what he meant by a garden city. Um, you can see it spells out here at the top on this crescent, the population 32,000. The city is 1,000 acres, agricultural land of 5,000 acres. So this is kind of what it was, and you can look where you've got this central park. You've got kind of these swaths of land for houses, and then they're surrounded by green space. I'm just gonna kind of take a look, just kind of like read some of these things that are on here. Just, you got your boulevards. Notice your streets and roads going through it. It was almost kind of this idea where like houses, like a swath of housing would be um, enclosed by like a green belt. I can't really think of how else to describe it, but like garden space, um, and where you would have kind of your agricultural space close to the city. So let's look at some more. See if it makes any more sense. Another diagram here. But you see how you have like the big grand avenues. We talked about colonial town plans as having kind of like primary and secondary roads. Um, so you've got like your big grand avenue, your boulevards, and then your smaller secondary roads. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let you look at that for a minute. Okay, let's move on. Just another one. This is more of the idea that the garden city shouldn't exist in isolation, but rather be kind of part of a whole system of cities. You can call them like ideal population clusters. And so I like that he says this is illustrating the correct principle of city growth. I mean, it's this idea of kind of planned and controlled city growth where you've got the open countryside is close by, and then you have these these highways, these intermunicipal highways connecting your circles. You see this intermunicipal railway, and you've got these highways and these connecting the circles so that you can kind of like conveniently, rapidly get in between these city populations. And so that's to foster communication, to foster trade, um, that kind of thing. Yeah. And this is just a bigger picture. I mean, these are all Howard's. This is all from his Garden Cities of Tomorrow book. I mean, there's several diagrams in this book, and these are just a few of them. I like at the top how it says group of slumless, smokeless cities. You know, this kind of plays into the idea of the garden city, of the recreation, of the open space, to be the green space, to be healthful, um, kind of like air quality type healthful, is really kind of where they were focused on. So, yeah, so you can take a look at that. Got your central city area, the railway, the highways that connect each of these circles with their ideal populations of about 32,000. So that it actually, I say 32,000, we think, oh, well, that's tiny. But it's, you can see it's like this kind of network of cities that serves a bigger population. There's that. And this is just another perspective. I know kind of circles are hard to visualize, but visualize it kind of like this. When I say these kind of, you can see this is kind of as part of the circle where you've got your buildings, you've got your residences, and then they're surrounded by these green belts, these rings of agricultural land. You've got your roads, your highways, your transportation. I mean, in his mind, this is the way, this is an ideal city. And here's another level. This is that Welwyn city that we talked about. This is more of what it would look like today. Um, the idea of a garden city. So see how kind of on the outskirts, on the right and left of the picture, you've got your buildings. These are housing. These actually looked like mixed use buildings. What that means is it looks like the bottom floor is like shops and retail and businesses, and the top is apartments and living spaces. So, but that you've got your buildings, but you've still also got your park, right? Your green space, your garden. I mean, these are garden cities. And then you can also notice that there's a plan for the traffic, right? In the sense that there's these roads. So you can see where it kind of directs the cars, but then you can also see, like in the foreground, the guy on the skateboard. So it's more like a pedestrian pathway, and there's someone walking. Um, so it's like designed. Oh, and yeah, and in the far back you can see the fountain too. This idea of civic improvement of art and fountains. So you've got a fountain. So you can see, like, just with this picture, how it went from like those crazy looking circles on a map to this. This is what it looks like more on the street level. And that you can see that it's got plans for all these different kind of uses, right? It's like, okay, well, here's some shops, here's some places to live, here's places for cars, here's places for pedestrians and for skateboarders and bicyclers, and here's just park spaces to kind of hang out in. There's benches for this guy. There's these public trash cans, right? I can see those too. There's a place to put your trash. There's a fountain, like something beautiful, trees. So, and then there's still, yeah, I mean, there's still like the little businesses and cars and stuff. So it's almost like this is an idea of all these different uses for a space, for a city space, and how those could come together. So this is like his vision of how all those should be. It's his dream, his utopia. And this is just this same kind of thing, just another perspective. Um, what it would look like more of like today, what this garden city would look like, where you can see the buildings, how they've got the keeping like the traffic, like the cars on the outside, and then places for people to enjoy the parks and outdoors on the inside. Um, and then still space here with the way these mixed use buildings are designed with your stores and your retail, and then the living spaces, the apartments up top. So that's what that would look like. Okay, so we'll stop there, and then you can go on and check out the next couple videos.